Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Gene.
And I'm Mike. And today we're doing the crossword for Monday, November 4th, 2024. So, on Election Day Eve,
Woohoo!
did you do the crossword?
I did do the crossword.
And were you victorious?
Well, no.
You weren't victorious? You were defeated by a Monday crossword.
No, I wasn't defeated exactly, but I just had a lot of trouble getting into this.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me 22 minutes to finish it. So...
Is that like a record for you?
Well, it's a lot longer than it usually takes me, but yeah, I don't know what it was exactly, but I just was like not really thinking too much about it, I guess, maybe. And
well, it's really hard.
Then I had mistakes, and it took me a while to find them, and so anyway, yeah, this just was not one of my success stories. So,
well, you know, I mean, a couple of things. One is maybe you weren't on Colin Adams' wavelength. Colin Adams being the author of said puzzle.
Right. Mm-hmm.
There were a few words that I thought were sort of unusual, and the themed answers were all a little bit unusual.
Well, they were, and it was about fashion, which I kind of enjoy. But
right.
I'm just like,
you are a fashion plate.
I just found that kind of I don't know. I just wasn't into it, I guess.
Well, you know, I got the first two right off the bat. Hey, over here. And that was spelled P-S-S-T. Right. And then 5 across, vehicle taken back by the bank for short, repo.
Right.
So I thought, I'm on a roll. And then I got to grub and I thought, food. And that's where things started to go off the rails.
I put eats. Because it was kind of what was it, slangy?
It just said grub.
Grub.
And the answer was chow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I had eats.
But the next two, 13 across, birthstone for a Halloween baby. It was 4 letters, so I guessed opal.
Yes.
And the next one, 14 across, kind of exam where picture everyone naked may be given as advice. That was oral.
That's right.
I don't know. It sounds like a distracting idea myself, but...
I've heard that, though.
Right.
I've heard that. But no, I never do that when I speak.
Right. Good.
But then 15, blank bunny, Bug's love interest in Space Jam. I'm like, I can never remember her name. I remember that movie Space Jam because our kids liked it so much. But
did that have Michael Jordan in it?
It had Michael Jordan and a whole bunch of other players too. Kind of at the end, but Michael Jordan was, through the whole movie. Mm-hmm. But it turned out to be Lola. But then after that, it was just like, I'm not really sure on a lot of these, so it took me a while.
Okay. Well, I mean, the themed answers would have slowed you down, I think.
Right.
Why don't you talk about the theme? That'll cover a lot of squares here.
Well, as we said, it was about fashion. The first theme clue, all the theme clues were quite lengthy. Going almost the length of the puzzle. But the first one was 16 across, keep a close eye on, and that was watch carefully. And then 26 across was perform karaoke with passion, say, and that was belt out a song. And then finally 42 across, fine, ignore my advice, and that was suit yourself. And then the revealer clue was at the bottom, and it too was quite lengthy. Following the latest style trends or a hint to the starts of the themed clues, and that was fashion forward. Mm-hmm. And of course the starts were watch, belt, and suit, all parts of an outfit that you might include. So
I think it's interesting. I mean, how long has it been that watches have been considered part of fashion? Has that been a long time?
Oh, yeah.
I guess I'm sorry, I don't hang around with those sorts of people, so I wouldn't know.
I mean, there's all those designer watches, particularly for men, like I don't know, Rolex.
You mean like all those ones like with diamond encrusted that are like $100,000, some sort of joke prices? For people who clearly have too much money and should send it to us.
Right. Right. But, so, yeah, for men, I think even more so than women. But, but yeah, women, they have watches that, different watches that they would wear with different outfits. But, yeah, a lot of them now just wear Apple watches. Like I wear my Apple Watch almost all the time.
And I bet it's more accurate than the $100,000 watch.
Well, I have no idea. I've never had a $100,000 watch.
No? I don't think I've been in the same city as a $100,000 watch. Bells out a song. That's also something you don't hear too often. And I bet every one of these is a debut answer. Let's find out. Watch carefully, belt out a song, and fashion forward. Apparently, suit yourself has shown up before, which is not surprising. And they had one more debut answer. British punk rocker with the hit Rebel Yell was Billy Idol.
Oh, okay.
I'm sort of surprised that that's a debut as well.
Yeah.
I would have figured they would have covered Billy Idol by now, but...
Well, maybe they covered just
Billy and then Idol.
Maybe Idol, yes.
Or perhaps they were more formal. William Idol.
No, I don't believe so.
I had a lot of trouble with 31 down. Direction pointing straight up from the equator. I had it ending in north, and the letter just before the north was an E, and the letter just before that was a U, so I decided, well, it's due north. Except I needed 4 letters, so I had adieu north. Sounds like I'm saying goodbye to the north. I was like, what could this be? But it turned out to be true north.
True north.
Which, now that they mention it, does make sense.
Yes, it does.
Hullabaloo was a furor. I like that word.
Yes, that was good.
Been a while since we've seen that, I think. Let's see. It has shown up. Actually, the first time it showed up was 1945. Contagious enthusiasm. Oh.
Furor.
Let's see. What else was interesting in here? Fraction of a byte was a bit. I hope all my students know that. I'd have to put it on an exam to find out.
29 across. Extremely off-putting. Off-putting. That's such an interesting phrase.
Yes.
And the answer was odious.
Odious, yep.
Odious.
Great word.
That's not a word I use too often. Oh, it was odious.
That's how, I wouldn't want to commit to the actual meaning and just say, oh, how odious.
But I don't say off-putting either. But
Off-putting is a good word. Off-putting should be used more often, I believe. Actually, I take that back, we should have fewer opportunities and less need of the word off-putting, but
yeah.
I think we need it.
I would say, this whole election season has been a
Off-putting?
bit off-putting. But I'll be glad when it's over.
Well, that's what happens when you live in a swing state.
Yes.
And every day, some presidential candidate is knocking on your door.
Yes.
Sometimes 2 at a time.
Your mailbox is overflowing with postcards telling you to vote for various candidates.
But no crosswords. If there was a candidate who announced their candidacy in a crossword that you had to solve, I would vote for them if I could immediately. I think that would be they would get the crosswording vote.
Yes.
I'm not sure how much that would help.
Yeah, I don't think too much.
Well,
the crossword vote.
I bet Tim Cook does the crossword every morning when he wakes up at about 4 a.m. Let's see, what else was interesting here? Freestyle, like Ella Fitzgerald, was scat.
Yep.
SCAT, 38 across.
I wasn't sure if it was C or K.
Yeah, I got that wrong to start as well.
But then the C crossed with 39 down. Marlboro offering informally. SIG.
Yes.
The old Marlboro man, I remember.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a stretch. They had to do something with SIG.
SIG.
Let's see here. Strange case was odd one, 43 down. And we had ferret-like mammal with prized fur, 30 across, was mink.
Yes, that was pretty easy.
I thought there was going to be some sort of a political joke in there, but nope, it was just mink. Let's see, a little bit of breakage of the fourth wall with 9 down, writing hints as a crossword constructor does, cluing.
Yep.
And then, let's see, 18 on a golf course was holes, which once I forced food to become chow, it was a lot easier to answer.
17 down, Egyptian god with the head of a falcon was Horus.
Right.
We don't see Horus as much as we see Osiris or
Isis
or however you
or
say it.
Amenra.
Or Amenra. Well, he was a pharaoh, right? He wasn't a god.
He wasn't? No, he was a god.
Oh, I thought he was a pharaoh.
Right, we always made fun. He was the god of tricky spellings.
That's right. But anyway, Horus made it in this puzzle.
Glad to see that Horus was there. All right. Well, I think that's it for today's crossword.
Okay.
So, again, this was by Colin Adams, and it was his third.
That's right.
His third of this year, in fact.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, he's just cranking them out.
He is. Good job, Colin.
He's done one Monday and 2 Fridays.
Wow.
So that's pretty interesting. So this was his Monday debut.
What a contrast.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why I had so much trouble with this one.
Yeah, he was channeling Friday
undertones.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so. I think you've hit. I think you've hit upon the explanation there. All right. Well, again, that's it for today. Thanks everyone for listening. Remember, we love feedback. Crosswordpodcast at iCloud.com. We also love stellar reviews wherever you happen to be listening to this podcast. And we will be back again with our cutting-edge analysis of tomorrow's crossword, as well as a Triplet Tuesday segment. We will be doing all of that tomorrow.
Don't forget to vote.
Don't forget to vote.
Bye-bye.